Hello, this is Susan Woods, your Black Lives Matter fraud investigator. This is part six of a series in an attempt to answer the question, why did the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation give $21.7 million to LGBTQIA organizations? Why did the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation give $21.7 million to LGBTQIA organizations? Definitions of the abbreviation. L is lesbian, G is gay, B is bisexual, T is trans, Q is queer, I is intersex, A is asexual. These are the definitions of the letters in LGBTQIA, just in case you were wondering. In 2020, the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation selected 30 organizations, not part of the grassroots apparatus, to be the first cohort of the official Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation grantees. These 30 organizations were selected by Patrice Coolers to be the first official, so-called official BLM GNF grantees. She stated, as several communities were thrown into the heightened political, socioeconomic, and medical vulnerabilities through COVID-19, BLM GNF sought to ensure the survival of some of the society's most vulnerable, Black LGBTQIA folks. Of the 30 organizations selected for the grants, 23 of them are led by Black LGBTQIA folks and or directly serve these communities in places like Chicago, New York, New Jersey, DC, and Alabama. She should have said my selected organizations are listed below. I have committed a six-figure grant to each of these organizations. Patrice Coolers was the only person on the board of directors in 2020, and she also served as the executive director, which meant she was in full control of who she decided to give $21.7 million to. So she decided to divide the money among 30 LGBTQIA organizations. I created this six-part series so that I could focus on 5 organizations at a time. So the first organization we talked about, or the first group of organizations we talked about, were the Okra Project, TGI Justice Project, Take Birmingham, Trans United, Audre Lorde Project, Trans Justice. That was in part number 1 of 6. Part number 2 of 6, we talked about Breakout, Black Trans Circles, BLMP, Solutions Not Punishment Coalition, and the Marsha P. Johnson Institute. Part 3 of 6, we talked about the Transgender District, Black Trans Travel Fund, For the Girls, House of Gigi, and Highlander Center. Part 4 of 6, we talked about Bold, Eat Chicago, PANA, Africans Rising, and the Haitian Bridge Alliance. Part 5, we talked about Trans Justice Funding Project, Trans Housing Coalition, Homeless Black Trans Women Fund, Black Trans Media, House of Pentacles, and House of Tulip. And now we're going to talk about, in part 6 of 6, the Black Trans Femmes in the Arts, Brave Space Alliance, Black Visions Collective, Brooklyn Boyhood, and BYP 100. The purpose of this investigation into these organizations is to determine whether or not they have 501c3 status. And the reason I wanted to determine that is because when foundations give money to organizations through grant funding, the proper way to do that is through a grant application process in which the organization or the foundation will send out requests for proposals or RFPs. Organizations that need grant money would then respond to the RFPs by submitting grant proposals. Then the foundation, in this case, the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation's board of directors, would read the grant proposals and determine whether or not the organizations meet the qualifications. The first qualification is normally an earned 501c3 nonprofit status. So that's the first thing I wanted to check in terms of these organizations to see if they've had those or if they earned 501c3 nonprofit status. Secondly, I wanted to just see what they were about, their mission, their vision, what programs they were offering, to see how they were worthy of a six-figure grant from the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation. But like I said, that process was not followed anyway. It appears that Patrice Concoulers just decided she was going to make the decision of the organizations, the 30 organizations, to receive grant money from this organization, $21.7 million in total. So now I'm going to pause my screen so that I can go to these last 5 organizations' websites so that we can see whether or not they have an earned 501c3 nonprofit status. So we're on part 6 of a 6-part series. Just one moment as I pause the screen so that I can go to the different organizations so that we can see for ourselves, do they deserve the money? And if they have an earned 501c3 nonprofit status. I appreciate your patience with this slight pause. Okay, so the first one we're going to look at is Black Trans Femmes Artists. And I think femmes, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's a French word meaning female, but Black Trans Femmes Artists. And let's see what they are about. About us. Our mission: to create spaces for the production and preservation of Black trans art and culture by building community with Black trans femme artists and providing them with the resources and support necessary to thrive. Okay. Our vision: we envision a world where Black trans femmes can create without limitations. BTFA is a community-focused 501c3 nonprofit that builds community and mobilizes resources to support Black trans femme artists who were assigned male at birth and now identify somewhere underneath the femme umbrella. We organize programming that centers and highlights Black trans femme artists, executive produced projects led by Black trans femme artists, and provide support to Black trans artists. Okay, so I'm going to click on the donate button because they say that they are a 501c3 designated organization. So I'm going to click on donate. Now let's look at their donate page because a lot of times that tells you the truth. So they have a nice donate page here, very clear. Choose your donation frequency, choose a donation level, or select an amount, or enter your own amount. And if you want to make some comments, I guess, and it shows recent activity. And if you can join their mailing list. So I'm scrolling down further because I'm looking for the EIN. Okay, I see they have the EIN here, 863019346. And I admire organizations that place their EIN number, or EINs, which is the employer identification number, on their donate page, because it gives people an easy way to investigate, to confirm that their organization is legitimately a 501c3 nonprofit organization by going to irs.gov. So I jotted down that number, and I may look it up before our video ends. But this is a very nice layout. It provides the name of the organization, the mailing address, the phone number, and the employer identification number. So that's very good. But we will verify later on whether or not it is actually the truth. So that is the first one. That is the Black Trans Femme Collective, right? I said that correctly. Okay. So that's the first organization. So now I'm going to go to the next organization that we'll look at, and it's called Brave Space Alliance. Brave Space Alliance. And it is an organization that Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation also gave a 6-figure grant to. So who are they? The Brave Space Alliance. Let's see. Okay, who we are. Okay, who we are. Mission and values. It's a lot to read here. I'm not going to read all of this, but our approach, I read that. Brave Space Alliance is the first Black-led, trans-led LGBTQ plus center located on the south side of Chicago, dedicated to creating and providing affirming, culturally competent, for us, by us resources, programming, and services for LGBTQ plus individuals on the south and west sides of the city. We strive to empower, embolden, and educate each other through mutual aid, knowledge sharing, and the creation of community-sourced resources as we build toward the liberation of all oppressed peoples. Okay, so that's what they are about. So I'm going to go to the donate button now, and let's check out the donate page. Brave Space Alliance, health, housing, food, dignity. Okay, invest in dignity, support Brave Space Alliance, and then it show you how you want to give, one time or monthly. Tell us about yourself, select the payment method, make the most of my donation. Okay, I'm looking for an EIN, but I don't see one, but I do see that Brave Space Alliance is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. I don't see the EIN, but they do indicate that they are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. So if you wanted to verify that, you would go to irs.gov and just do a tax-exempt organization search and just type in their name rather than their EIN. So that's the Brave Space Alliance, okay? So let's go to the next one. The next organization we're looking at is called Black Visions. Black Visions, okay. So this is their page, and in order to get information about them, I'm assuming you have to join their email list. Hey friend, we are nearing the end of a multi-year strategic planning process in which we have been discerning the future goals, structures, relationships, and accountability needed for Black visions to thrive. During this time of reflection, we have decided to pause much of our external programming and community organizing. As a Black-led organization that centers queer and trans people, our approach to organizing for power is rooted in an unapologetic rejection of business as usual. We favor a queer way of movement building where folks can be seen in their full humanity. Thank you for your continued trust and support as we prepare to win the fights our communities are demanding of us. Liberation is a journey we are on and a destination that we are moving towards. We hope you're still with us. To freedom, Black Vision's staff and board of directors. So in order to join them, you would put in your email address and click join us. So apparently they're taking a pause from their work. But what happened to the money? The six figures that the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation awarded to you. Maybe they took a pause within the last 3 years, because the impact report was published in 2020. So maybe something happened between 2020 and now, and it could certainly be, that caused them to take a pause. But what happened to the money? Anyway, moving on. Now we're going to take a look at Brooklyn Boyhood. Brooklyn Boyhood is an organization that we're taking a look at in part 6 of this investigation into why the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation gave a total of $21.7 million divided among 30 LGBTQIA organizations. So Brooklyn Boyhood, let's see what Brooklyn Boyhood is about. About Brooklyn Boyhood, okay? Okay. Our mission is to create spaces where Black, brown, queer, and trans boys and our communities can cultivate stories, dreams, and creative work. Brooklyn Boyhood started in Bedford-Stuyvesant in 2009 with 2 friends, a couch, and a desire to feel seen and understood as masculine of center queer and trans people of color. We began with a calendar, a project that meant to make the subjects feel handsome and beautiful, and an opportunity to showcase our community's brilliant photographers and designers. Okay, I'm not going to read all of that. You can read it if you choose. Okay, interesting. Our guiding principles, everything is listed there. Okay. Our party principles, okay. So now I'm going to go back up and click on is there a donate button? I'm looking at the donate. Book us our work. I don't see a donate button. Do they not take donations? Maybe not. Maybe they sell things. Maybe they're not a 501c3. I'm sorry about the scrolling. Let me just look at something else. I'm trying to see. Maybe they are not. Well, that would further confuse me. If they're not a 501c3, then how do they qualify for grant funding if they're not a 501c3? But it looks like they generate revenues through selling things. I don't know. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like most of their money comes through selling products. And that is certainly a violation of being a 501c3 status. You can certainly sell products, but it absolutely cannot be your sole source of revenue generation. So, okay. They're not claiming to be a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and the Brooklyn Boyhood does not have, sorry about that, does not have a donate button. So that leads me to believe they are generating revenues through selling products and services. Okay, moving right along to our last organization that we're going to highlight today in part 6 of our investigation, and this is the BYP 100. The BYP 100. So let's learn more about them. Let's see, is there an about us? About. Okay. About BYP 100 mission and history. Founded in 2013, BYP 100, which is the Black Youth Project 100, is a member, let me increase the size of this, I'm struggling to read it, is a member-based organization of Black youth activists creating justice and freedom for all Black people. BYP 100 was, at one point, just a hashtag for the 2013 Beyond November movement convening, developed through the vision and leadership of Kathy Cohen, so on and so forth. You can read the rest. The donate button, let me go to that. Let's look at that donate page. Donate to BYP 100 Action Fund. BYP 100 is dedicated to improving the lived experiences of all Black people. Okay. The layout is good, very easy. I'm looking for a statement about their 501c3 status, and I'm looking for an EIN, and I don't see either one. Let me look again, be sure. Okay, I don't see an indication that they have 501c3 status, and I don't see an indication that they have an EIN. Let me go back to about. Let me scroll down, make sure I haven't overlooked it. Okay. Again, I don't see anything that would make me think that they have 501c3 status that will qualify them for tax-deductible donations. I don't even see where they have a fiscal sponsor. So, again, that just lets me know that Patrice Concoller must have a connection to these organizations, a personal connection, because there is no way that they could have gone through the proper vetting process to earn grant funding from a foundation. They don't have 501c3 status and they don't have an EIN, so that makes me believe they're just an organization, I'm sure doing great work, but not qualified to receive grant funding from a foundation. So we've looked at all 6 of the organizations in part 6. Let me go back to my presentation here. We've looked at all 6 organizations that we've intended to talk about today: Black Trans Femmes in the Arts, Brave Space Alliance, Black Visions Collective, Brooklyn Boyhood, and BYP 100. The Black Trans Femmes in the Arts did have an EIN. The Brave Space Alliance stated they were 501c3 but did not provide an EIN. And Black Visions Collective, Brooklyn Boyhood, and BYP 100 do not indicate they have 501c3 nonprofit status at all. So I'm going to demonstrate how to validate the truth about the Black Trans Femmes in the Arts, since they provided an EIN for me to search. So I'm going to pause my screen just for a moment so that you can see what I'm talking about, and demonstrate to you the process to validating whether an organization has 501c3 nonprofit status. So just one moment, please, as I go to irs.gov and pull up the information that we need to verify their claim. And you can do this for any nonprofit, by the way. I mean, if you have a nonprofit organization that you're curious about their status, you can follow these same steps that I'm following, that I'm going to show you right now. I've gone to irs.gov, and I'm going to click on Charities and Nonprofits. I'm going to scroll down to Tax-Exempt Organizations Search and click on Search Organizations. I'm going to scroll down and click on Tax-Exempt Organizations Search. Scroll down once more, click on Search for Tax-Exempt Organizations, and then here we are, Tax-Exempt Organizations Search. I'm going to type in the EIN that I jotted down for the organization just to see their current status. And here we are. the Black Trans Femmes in the Arts Incorporated, located in Brooklyn, New York. And I'm going to click on it. I'm going to click on the link for the organization. They do, in fact, have 501c3 nonprofit status. They have publication 78 data, meaning they are the deductibility code is what you're looking for here. And that means they are a private foundation, PF. And if you want to know more about PF, you just scroll down. And it's a private foundation. And you can donate up to 30% of your salary generally to a private foundation. Okay. So that's good. It also shows their determination letter, and the determination letter is the approval letter from the IRS that says, congratulations, your organization earned 501c3 status, okay? So we can click on this actual letter to see, let me increase the size, to see when the organization received 501c3 status. Uh-oh, I see a problem. Do y'all see a problem? I see a problem. I see a concern. I wonder if you're seeing it. Now, let's look at the date of this letter. The date of this letter is 8/10/2022, right? The date of their 501c3 determination letter. The date of their effective date of exemption is February the 4th, 2021. When was that impact report created by Patrice Concoolers? In 2020. So she gave this organization money before they had 501c3 status. They didn't get status until the effective date of exemption, tax exemption, is February the 4th, 2021. The date of their letter is 8/10/2022. The effective date of exemption means this is when the articles of incorporation were filed with the New York Secretary of State's office. That's what this means. The effective date of exemption is when they filed their articles of incorporation with the New York Secretary of State's office. And then they probably completed an application to get their 501c3 status from the federal government, which was awarded on 8/10/2022. So almost 2 years after Patrice Concoolers published the impact report, did they earn their 501c3 status? You know, the levels of crookedness that Patrice Concoolers demonstrated with $90 million, it just boggles my mind how she got away with it. There was just no checks and balances whatsoever. None. None. I'm just confused. I'm just very confused and aggravated by how someone could have so much power to do these things, to make these decisions. One more thing before I go from this page is to let you see that they haven't filed the Form 990 information return yet. They still have time because they were just approved in 2022. So they have time to get it in, but there's not a filing for the Form 990 information return for 2022 yet. And the deadline was May 15th of 2023. So they have time, but I'm just so disturbed by this. It bothers me. So let's wrap things up. Thank you for that pause and that allowing me to vent for just a moment. It just bothers me so much. But we're back. We're going to go back now and finalize our presentation for today. So we're back. So I'm going to go over to the next page now to wrap it up. We talked about the different parts, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, and today, part 6 of 6 of the investigation into why the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation gave $21.7 million to 30 LGBTQIA led organizations, a combination of $21.7 million divided among those 30 organizations. The source of this information again comes from the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation's 2020 Impact Report, which includes the information regarding the $21.7 million investment in these organizations. And I'm going to click now just to let you see how you can get to the report in case you want to read the full report. You will go to blacklivesmatter.com. This is the home page. Go over to resources, scroll down to 2020 Impact Report, and just open up the Impact Report. And this is on page 22 of 42 pages is where this information is that I keep referencing, but it has a full outline of information that you can read. I don't believe any of it. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't believe a lot of it. I won't say any of it, but I don't believe a lot of the information in here. Patrice Coolers and some people that I guess she chose threw this together in the height of people questioning, okay, where is the money? You know, this came after it was announced that they earned or generated $90 million in the wake of the George Floyd murder. So people started asking, well, where is the money? So this is a message from Patrice Coolers, a bunch of lies. And this is the report that they threw together and sent out. And, you know, try to make people feel like, oh, we're being transparent now. No, I don't buy it at all. It's just a slick document that they threw together to make us feel better. Again, thank you so much for your time. This concludes this series of investigations, part 6 of 6 of why the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation gave a total of $21.7 million to divide among 30 LGBTQIA organizations. And quite frankly, I still don't know why. I'm going to summarize my data and just for the sake of it, show you out of the 30 organizations, how many have legitimate 501c3 nonprofit statuses. And I know I shared that information in each video, but I'm going to come back and just do a summary, 1-page summary to show you out of the 30, which ones actually have an earned 501c3 status of their own. They're not operating under fiscal sponsorship, but they have their own 501c3 designations. And I gather to think, or I can estimate through the research, is probably maybe 10, but we'll see. I thank you so much for your interest in this topic, and I thank you so much for your time. This is Susan Woods, the Black Lives Matter fraud investigator. Thank you and have a great day.